Give me 10 to 13 minutes and I'll get you jacked. All right? Listen up, listen well, because this is gonna change your life. You need to get jacked in 2025, right? If you're tired of not fitting in your clothes, tired of feeling invisible, tired of being overlooked, you want to recreate yourself, this is the way. So pay attention, listen up, no bullshit guide. Let's get into this shit. All right. First things first, you need to change your mindset, right? Mindset. Shit. Did I hear you spell mindset wrong? Already a bad start. First things first, you need to change your mindset, right? See, the way to actually make this, because the thing about getting jacked is a lifestyle, right? If you want to get in the best shape of your life, first, before we go into the specifics about body types and all that stuff, we got to fix in here. You got to get it in here. You got to understand, like, you got to get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? So in my personal experience, you need to find an enemy, right? You need to find an enemy. Guys, I cannot spell today for shit, guys. Bear with me. You need to find an enemy, right? I read a book recently called Choose Your Enemies Wisely, right? By Patrick Bet-David. Shout out Patrick Bet-David. He's a GOAT, right? And you need to find, and what he talks about in the book, finding enemies, you need to find enemies that bring something out of you, that keep you up at night, enemies that challenge you to like be the best version of yourself, enemies that challenge you to reach your goals, right? And in my personal life, when I was reading the book, I realized, I was like, oh, like when I first started my fitness journey, whether I knew it or not, I had enemies that drove me, right? So you need to find enemies. And the reason why enemies are so important is because if you have a strong enough why, right? If you have a strong enough why, you can endure anyhow, right? You can endure anyhow if you have a strong enough why. I need an eraser. There is no erasers in this damn place. I guess I'm stuck with my hands. Right? So, and the book talks about there's different types of enemies, right? You know, maybe it's a girl broke your heart, right? I don't feel like spelling it up. Maybe a girl broke your heart. I don't know. Maybe you're like me and you were afraid of getting jumped, right? Maybe you're afraid of getting jumped. For example, in my personal experience, when I used to hoop at the rec centers, I would be scared that a specific person would like jump me because there was rumors of this person going around the rec center stealing people's shoes and stuff. So I was scared, right? So that's why I wanted to get in the gym, because I didn't want to feel weak. I wanted a stronger presence. I didn't want to feel like people could just have their way with me, right? So that's what drove me. I had an enemy. I was afraid. I was afraid of getting jumped, right? Maybe you were bullied, right? Maybe you were bullied for being skinny. Maybe you were bullied for being fat or obese, whatever the case may be. I was bullied too. When I was in elementary school, I would get tackled to the ground. I was like really skinny. And you know, we would tackle each other. We'd play like tackle and whatnot. And I would always be the weakest guy. I was always the guy getting tackled, right? I was always the weakest guy there, and that pissed me off. And I didn't want to be weak anymore, right? So that drove me to want to get in the best shape of my life, to put on muscle. Right? So you got to find an enemy. You have to find what is it that's gonna keep you up at night. What is that thing that's gonna motivate you to get in the gym? Like who? You need to ask yourself, who hurt you? Who hurt you? That's what you need to ask. Who hurt you? Because once you figure out who hurt you, then you're locked in. Then you're locked in, bro. You need to find out who hurt you. You need to find out your enemies, because that's what's gonna propel you forward, right? So now, actually, I just realized these pens actually have erasers. I don't need these, man. Yo, shout out Dollarama, bro. Shout out Dollarama. Low-key Dollarama should be the sponsor of this video, bro. This is actually some goated shit. But now that we got enemies out of the way, we got the mindset out of the way, let's dive into some specific stuff, right? Let's get into the nit and gritty. Keep it real simple for you. If you're obese, you want to be in a calorie deficit, right? You're going to be calorie deficit. If you're skinny, you want to bulk. You want to bulk, right? And if you're skinny fat, you got a little bit of a dad bod going. Want to be in maintenance. Maintenance calories, right? If you're like, depending on like skinny fat, like if you're skinny fat, depending on if you're more on the obese side, then that would be in like a maintenance cut. But if you're in like, that'd be in a maintenance cut. But if you're more on the skinny side, I would just stick to maintenance, right? So now that we understand this, right? Based on your height and weight, you're gonna go into Google and you're gonna type in your height and weight. Okay? Stay still with me? You're gonna type in your height and weight, right? And the Google calculator will literally tell you will need to tell you how much you need to eat in order to gain or to lose, right? So say for example, I don't know, you type in you're like me and you're like 5'11", and I don't know, and maybe you're like 150 pounds or something like that, right? That's how I started out. I started out, 5'11", 150 pounds, right? So like 5 years ago, I went into the Google calculator and I figured out, okay, I want to gain weight, so how many calories do I need to eat? And it told me I needed to eat around 3,000 calories in order to be in a calorie surplus to gain, right? If you're someone who's obese and you want to lose, you got to type it into the calculator and figure out, okay, I got to eat at a deficit, right? And you can Google that and it will tell you exactly how much you need to eat, right? So once you go into Google Calculator and you type in your height and your weight and your age and all that type of stuff, and it will tell you how much you need to eat to gain or lose, now we can jump into making a meal plan, right? We can jump into making a meal plan. Oh, and speaking of meal plans, I'm also forgetting a very important step here is you have to make sure, right? You have to make sure you're eating at least 1.7 to 1 gram of protein per body weight. Once you figure that out, right? You figure out like you're eating 1.7 to 1 gram of protein per body weight, right? So calculate that out, right? I'm pretty sure you like times it by your current weight, right? Google will tell you all of this, and then you will literally have to make sure you reach your protein goals for the day so that you can actually build muscle, right? Now I'm gonna give you a little bonus tip. Right now. If you're a skinny dude and you're looking to get jacked, make sure you're eating your nuts. Pause. Nuts are high in protein. A handful of nuts a day, pause, will get you jacked, right? That's what I did in the beginning. A handful of nuts was an easy snack for me to get started on my fitness journey. Little pro tip there, if you're struggling to gain weight, eat your nuts. Pause, right? Whoa. And you need help making a custom plan that makes sense for you so that you can reach your fitness goals for the year 2025. Make sure you book the one-on-one. Make sure you hit the link in the description to book a one-on-one coaching call if you're looking to reach your fitness goal for the year of 2025. I'm the guy for that. I can help you with that. We can make sure we reach a plan that makes sense for you so that you can get jacked this year, right? Anyway, back to scheduled programming. Let's jump into the routine. You need the right routine. Right? You need the right routine in order for you to stay consistent, right? And it doesn't matter exactly like if it's what kind of split you choose, as long as it's a split that you feel comfortable with and a split that you enjoy, something that you can stay consistent with, as long as you are, progressively overloading, right? And I'm gonna get into progressive overload in a minute, but before we get into that, I just want to talk about personally, I like the push-pull leg split. Push-pull legs. I like this split, right? you could choose the split that works best for you. For the sake of this video, we're just gonna go with push-pull leg, right? So a push day is gonna revolve with back and biceps. Pull day is usually like chest, triceps, and shoulders. And of course your leg days is self-explanatory, you got your legs, right? You have your split right here, push-pull legs, and you would do this, you could either do this from, 3 times a week, or you could do it twice a week, you know what I mean? So you go push-pull legs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, push-pull legs, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, push-pull legs, or you can do like a push-pull legs full body. That's what I used to do. So push-pull legs in a row, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday you do like a full body day to kind of touch everything, right? Or you could do like a push-pull legs, upper, lower. You know what I mean? You can figure out a way that makes sense for you, what you like and what is gonna keep you consistent, right? But let's get into some more important stuff. We're gonna talk about progressive overload. This is probably the most important thing in this entire video, right? Progressive overload, all right? So progressive overload is where, you're making sure you're pushing yourself harder than last time. Shout out Greg Doucette, right? You gotta make sure that you're upping the weight by 10 pounds each week, upping it at least a little bit by little, right? Because you want to up the weight so that you can continue to break those muscle fibers down so you can build more muscle, right? And if you're finding that you're plateauing and you're not able to keep on building more, if you find that you're plateauing and you're finding that you're struggling to like lift heavier, then what you can do is perform the workout a little bit slower. So making sure you're doing slow reps so that you can at least feel that burn those muscle fibers, right? They would call this time under tension, right? Making sure you're performing the reps slow and controlled so that you can actually burn those muscle fibers so you can actually build muscle. So progressive overload is key, and it's gonna be key to your growth, right? With that being said, take those lessons that I told you and apply them today, okay? So that's all I really have for today. If you want a specific workout plan that's tailored for you, hit the link in the description. I got you. You can book a one-on-one coaching call, and we'll see if it makes sense to work together. And I'll be happy working with you soon. If you send this to someone who needs to hear it, who's looking to get jacked, remember, there's nothing landing about playing small. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, see you guys next time.